Hello, my beloveds. This is Rev Sue Frederick, and let's have a mystical conversation, the kind where we lose ourselves in the wonders of divine mysteries, share dreams from the other side, intuitive nudgings, and soul mission yearnings. A mystical conversation is what happens when we lift above the ego mind and review life from that place of divine inspiration. It's the place we go to know things that we can't see from our everyday reality. I'm the author of several books, including the Angel Up book series and I See Your Dream Job and the Sacred Numerology Workbook. And I'm an ordained Unity minister and a master numerologist. My website is SueFrederick.com. But I'm really excited because today a really good friend of mine is here with us, and you all probably already know her, Karen Noe. She's a renowned psychic medium, a spiritual counselor, and a healer with a 2-year waiting list. She's the author of We Consciousness, Your Life After Their Death Through the Eyes of Another, and the Angel Quest Oracle Deck. Since best-selling author Dr. Wayne Dyer left the physical plane in 2015, Karen has been receiving profound messages from him for his family and for the world as well. She is the founder of the Angel Quest Center in Waldwick, New Jersey, where she teaches classes, gives readings, and practices alternative healing. You can listen to Karen on the Angel Quest show on all podcast platforms. To find out more about her, visit her website at karennoe.com. That's KarenNoe.com. Without further ado, beautiful Karen, it's so good to see you again.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. Just
It
had you
is,
on my show as well.
yes, I've been
With
on your
pleasure.
show, you've been on mine. Our synergy is just so great. And we're making an angel master class together on humanities team, which is so
That's
exciting.
right. That's right. And our listeners should find out more about that. They could, we're going to put a plug in because it's so good. And the
Right.
video is for free. So if you go
Yes.
to my website at karennoe.com, that's KarenNoe.com. I don't know if you have it on yours, but it has the right on the homepage.
Right. So that's humanitiesteam.org, everybody. And
Yes.
we've created a collective and angel masterclass on there, which is
Yeah.
so important because the world needs this. But Karen, tell us about how you began connecting with angels and deceased loved ones.
Oh gosh, it I'll make it very brief. I was always psychic, even as a young girl. My father used to take me to the racetrack, and I picked the winning horses for him. And now I'm an animal activist. I don't go to the track. But about 25 years ago, I was going through a difficult time in my life. And one day I just sat at the edge of my bed and I yelled at God and I said, "Am I going to be okay?" And with that, I saw a light that came towards me from the other side of the room. And as it was coming towards me, I said, "If you're not of God, please leave." But 25 years later, I know we're all of God. We're all connected and all of that. But what I meant was, if you don't mean me well, if you're not of love and light. But the more I said that, the more it kept coming towards me and eventually enveloped me. And at that time, I heard an audible voice. Now, when I receive messages, it's more intuitively as a telepathic message, but I did hear an audible voice that said, "Lucia Lucina, Bella Lucia Lucina," which in Italian means light, beautiful little light. And I've since learned that was St. Francis of Assisi, who's been guiding and protecting me ever since. And my psychic abilities were greatly enhanced. I started connecting with angels and deceased loved ones. After that, reluctantly, because I was pathetically shy. I didn't want anybody to think I was not in my right mind and so forth. But the rest is history. Yeah.
I love it that you say not in my right mind. I
That's
know
what we
that this
do.
is the leap that we all have to take when spirit, God, angels, departeds are calling us, to shift up and do our real work. There's always that moment of, but if I start doing this, I'll lose my friends, my family will not support me. And that is usually true. But what we learn when we take that leap, as you've learned, is that the people who are part of our soul posse who resonate with all of this, they come and love on us and they want to work with us, and we're brought into a whole new arena of conscious awakened souls. And I've had that happen and you've had that happen. And look, it
Yes,
brought us together.
absolutely. And it's the best thing that happened to
It
me.
is.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
also want to encourage people who are listening that if you know that you are called to do spiritual work like this or similar, follow that courageous nudge of the heart, of the soul, because yes, it's scary, but the world needs this work. And those of us who are taking the courage to step up and trying to surrender what people think of us in order to do this work, it is so magnificent to be a part of it. What would you like to say about our world, Karen, and this work?
Okay, so from that time after the light, people found me somehow, and the waiting list got further and further along. And I've been doing this for 25 years, receiving messages from deceased loved ones. However, this last year, I've been feeling the angels. Angels are different than deceased loved ones who have been, and if I cry, just bear with me because this is really important to me in the world. Um, I have really felt the angels guiding me, telling me to change paths right now, to promote peace in this world because there's a lot of things going on. And to understand that in reality, after we leave the physical body, we feel our oneness in an instant, that we're all one. And to understand that when you're here on the planet. So, therefore, if we raise our own vibration to become more on par with the energy of love, which to become more on par with the energy of who we really are, God is within each one of us. And if we all become more loving, peaceful, forgiving, compassionate, being able to see through the eyes of others and all of that, we're raising the vibration of the planet. So we are making a difference in this world. A lot of times people say, oh, well, I can't make a difference. But yes, you can. By you changing yourself or becoming more loving, you're making the planet more loving. And we need so much more of this right now.
So, how is your work changing? Because this is a big shift. I mean, you're the medium who channeled Wayne Dyer in
Yes,
for his
yes.
family, And so, where do you see taking this work, and how can the world help you do this?
What's happening now, it's almost I've been feeling guided to retire, not retire, go on hiatus for years now because
Mhm.
I've always been feeling the angels. Okay, now's your time. Now's your time to do what you're supposed to be, what you came here on earth for. And I did not listen. And I kept making appointments, and it's always been 2 years ahead of time. So even if I chose to be on hiatus then, it would take 2 years. If I hope you're following me.
Yeah.
So finally, I just could not do it anymore. A lot of things were happening in my family last year, behind the scenes, health issues and so forth, and I didn't have anywhere to go, anywhere to put these people on my in my appointment book. So I said, I can't do this anymore. I feel so guided. The angels are pushing me, literally, and it feels wonderful, actually. And I'm finally listening. And when you listen to the angels, it feels so good, as if to say, what took you so long? What took you so long? So I think I had to build a platform in order to build this new platform of peace, which is really, really important on this planet right now,
Right.
to spread the love that you are. And if we're unhappy with something that's going on in the world, instead of getting angry and making fun of whatever the other side is saying, that's not helping anything.
Right.
What we're doing is creating more of the same.
That's right.
We have to see through the eyes of the other side of view, point of view, we could gently speak for those who are voiceless,
Mhm.
speak for them in a kind, compassionate way.
Yeah. I think that's so important because this is a different phase of human evolution. And, if we even go back in the history of the world, history of our country, in the past, we've lived by war, we've lived by political disagreement, we've taken sides, we've marched, and all of that. And that has kind of carried on and carried on. And now the frequency is shifting so much, and we are all being called to do this differently now and
Mhm,
to see the other person's ideas, even if they're different than yours,
mhm.
release them for highest good, and
Right.
simply find a way to have compassion and unconditional love. And that is the hardest call humans have ever been asked to do. And
Absolutely.
every day it's a test. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And I would encourage our listeners, if you feel frustrated with what's going on in the world, instead of like posting on Facebook or Instagram negative things, focus on the love. Focus on whatever you're wanting to say in a positive, loving way. And there are ways of doing this. Trying to see through the other person's point of view, as you said. We may not understand why they feel what they do, and why they're doing what they're doing.
Mhm.
But that does not mean we should not speak up.
So
That
did
means
your
we speak up, speak
right.
up in a kind, compassionate way.
So do your new angel classes, for example, the one on humanities team and all of that, are they reflecting kind of this new work, this new call to action?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, even I have a center in Waldwick, New Jersey. And on Sunday, we've been meeting with a group of people who've been, it's getting larger and larger group, who are frustrated what's going on in the world. And so we all speak our piece. I want them to feel there's no judgment, whatever they're feeling, speak it, say it. And on Sunday we have a class. It's all peace songs throughout the ages, different time periods. And we're going to be posting and listening to peace songs and encouraging people to be more, all of this.
Yeah.
Speaking your piece. What do you need to say? Get it out. This is what you're feeling. Okay, now what can we do? What can we do about this? Instead of focusing on the problem, let's focus on solutions. And if people are encouraged to march, which a lot of people are encouraged to march, um, instead of being angry when you're marching, you know, they've created some kinds of signs, some of them, both sides, you know, but some of them they're saying, we the people,
Yeah.
like it's all about the America and standing up for what our rights are in a very kind, compassionate way. I wish I would have some of the sayings here, but you understand what I'm saying.
I
It's all
totally understand.
yes.
So, how are the angels helping with this work and helping, you put together classes? Because I know the angels are behind this
Oh,
idea that you need to be promoting peace. Um, Tell me about what's in your angel master class for humanities team, for example.
oh, okay. So the Angel Master class. I just talk about the angels and how it's a higher level of consciousness, even than the deceased loved ones.
Yeah,
When we
it
want,
is.
yeah. So when we want to connect with deceased loved ones, like we're here, deceased loved ones' energy's here, then the angels are here. So you have to raise your vibration
Right,
a little bit higher to be able to feel them.
right.
Them.
I love that so much because,
Yeah.
that's what I've been teaching too, and it's in all my angel books, my angel up books, is that yes, our departed loved ones love us and they come in with their personality for us to recognize and everything. But when we connect with the angels, it is a completely different frequency. And it is a frequency of pure love, pure nurturing comfort, and it raises us to a vibration where we can then actually send love out to the world no matter what's going on in the world.
Exactly.
I think we're each being called to kind of do that in our own individual ways. You're doing it in your group meetings and in your classes. And
Mhm.
I downloaded those three Angel Up books because the angels were like, you got to write what we're telling you here and
Absolutely.
get this
Absolutely. And
message
you said it
out.
was, you wrote. them so quickly, right? I'm doing a book as well now.
They poured through me. Yeah.
Yes,
Three of
yes,
them.
yes. So they're really encouraging us to be
Yeah.
more angel-like,
Right.
and when we have more love in our planet, there won't be any more wars
That's
or,
right.
or disagreements, and won't be me, me, me. It will be we, because
Right.
we are all connected. And
Hmm.
whatever we do to ourselves or another, it affects everybody.
So has Wayne Dyer been sort of coming back and still talking to you, or what is your connection with Wayne about now?
Okay. So there's a lot. Yes, he's been, but not so much as when he came the first time. Now, when he came the first time, it was 2015.
Mm,
And if anybody read We Consciousness, he was predicting what was going to be happening
yeah,
following year and subsequent years.
yeah.
And he was saying that a lot of darkness is going to be coming up from the planet, but this is necessary for the commencement of the light, right? So
Right.
when we understand that, this is a reason we have to see what's really there so that we can rise above it and become more angel-like, more loving, more peaceful. And in
Mhm.
so doing, we could create a more peaceful planet. So yes, he's been around.
He's probably hard at work on all of this.
I have to tell you something funny though. Even Wayne Dyer is a deceased loved one, and he may be ascended masters, but the
Right.
angels feel different. Wayne Dyer, when he comes through,
Yeah.
as you probably know, when somebody comes through as a deceased loved one, they have the personality
Right.
that they had when they were here. Maybe they do that so their living loved one knows it's them.
Recognizes it.
So
Yeah.
he comes loud and forceful, and it's me, and listen to me, and call Tracy now, and call Serena now, and do it very forcefully. And here I am. Okay, I'll call
Right.
6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I'll call her now. Whereas the angels are just, and not that Wayne isn't love, he's love,
Yeah, I
but
know.
he's it, Wayne. And you wouldn't want it any other way. But
Right.
when the angels are coming through, it's like lifting me up.
That's it. Yeah.
I know I came for this very reason, and it sounds crazy, and maybe you feel the same way. I came to help create peace on the planet. I knew it from the moment I was born here. My kids used to call, my car the Peace Mobile. I always had the peace signs and all that in my house, and always, always. And now it feels like the time is now. And if I don't listen to this, if those who are listening don't listen to this, if you feel guided to participate in spreading love, you'll feel the angels keep saying, nudging you,
Mhm.
nudging you. And sometimes they'll shout. I have a wonderful angel story.
All right. Tell me your angel story.
Okay. So we were saying before how connecting with deceased loved ones, we have to raise our vibration a little bit higher
Hmm.
and to connect with the angels even a little bit higher. So several years ago, I had a client who was very difficult. She wanted to kill everybody. She wanted to kill everybody in her family, and she meant it. And I remember in my head, I'm saying, I don't want this. I don't want this. And she was saying this. And what happens when we say we don't want something?
Right.
We create the very thing that we saying we don't want because we're putting energy into what we don't want. And which I would tell everybody, focus on what you do want, which is love and peace rather than what you don't want. But in any case, she started to treat me with disrespect. And I mean, so nobody has ever treated me that way in my whole life. And I didn't like, what did I do to create this? I'm saying, because, our thoughts create our reality. And what did I do? So at that time, I was angry and I was ranting, raving. I was so upset. I went for a walk with my dog one day, Duke, and I'm walking, and in my head, I'm yelling at the angels. And I said this, and I said, I know you can hear me. I can't hear you. And with that, I was guided to look up in the sky, and there were clouds shaped like an ear with a finger in it.
I love that.
But because I was angry, I didn't know what that meant. And I
Mm,
said, oh, so silly. What? I want to hear you. And how am I
right.
going to hear the angels when I'm angry? Because the angels
Right.
are love, right?
Right.
So all of a sudden, I felt compelled. I started to focus on the beauty and love all around me. I started to see the flowers that were blooming. It was springtime.
Mm,
And I noticed the birds in the sky and the beautiful sounds of the birds. And as I got closer to my house, I felt the love of my family. And only then did
hmm.
I understand what the angels were telling me.
Yeah.
They were saying I wasn't able to hear them. It was like I had my finger in my ear when I
Right.
was angry, ranting and raving.
Yeah.
But as soon as I focused on the love all around me, I was able to understand.
I think this is such an important point for humans because when I look back at my life here and the times when I was stuck in my pain and refused to open up and grow, even though Spirit was doing its best to download information and guidance to me and love, it was always at the core because I was angry at the universe. You
That's
know,
when you got the messages?
pardon?
Yes. That's when you started receiving the messages?
Well, when I stopped being angry,
Oh,
I
I
was
see.
able to hear them. But
Yes.
but I blocked them by being angry.
Yes.
And just like you, I work with so many clients who have had a very hard life. Maybe they're grieving, even sometimes grieving a child, which my heart goes out so much. But if they kind of won't help lift that anger off of themselves. And that's a simple frequency shift that we all talk about, whether we go into gratitude. You were just talking about having gratitude for the flowers, gratitude for your loved ones. That simple shift, it
Yeah.
lifts us up above that anger. And the anger is rightfully felt here on earth. This is a hard journey. And the minute we kind of let the angels help us lift it or find our gratitude, then we take our fingers out of our ears, like you were shown, right?
Right.
And we
Yes.
can hear what they've been saying and how they've been trying to help us all along. I feel like
Exactly.
my team is like, oh my God, Sue, you're a hard case, you know?
All of us do that. But also, I've noticed too, I don't know about you, but when I need the help, like when I was going through a difficult time 25 years ago and I yelled at God, or when I'm like, angels, I can't hear you, that's when they really came through. But when I got out of my own way, if that makes sense,
Yeah,
like we were talking about,
yeah,
I guess that's when we need them the most. They're always
yeah.
with us.
Yeah, they're
Anyway,
always with us.
yes.
But I know, for me, that grief put me in a state of anger when I was in my early 30s. And it was kind of like, okay, if this universe is going to be that hard, then, I'm not going to believe in anything beyond the physical. I'm just going to be cynical. And every single human on earth hits a point where they're fed up and they just go, this is a mess here on earth. So I'm going to hold on to my cynicism and my anger. And the irony of that for all of us is, yes, that's part of our human journey. But the minute we can open up with your techniques, with my techniques, and feel that higher love, gratitude, compassion, forgiveness, now we get everything we've wanted, the love, the abundance flow, the grace, the encouragement. It's all here for us. But you and I know we have to help people lift into that frequency. And that's what you're doing with, especially with this new beautiful work. And I kind of love it that you're not going to just kind of focus on your mediumship work anymore.
I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
And the world
People
needs
will
a
get upset. Yeah, they'll be
bigger
upset. They
help.
are upset with, not upset. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but they're
Yeah.
like, you can't do this.
Right.
But all these years I've been training people how to do what I do because we all can do this. We all
Right.
can connect with spirit.
Right.
And if I do a reading on somebody, it's good for that hour, but what about
Right.
the next day? What
I
about,
agree.
right?
And the other thing is that, before we used to teach, like 20 years ago, I was teaching people you can connect to your departed loved one, and teaching them how to do it. But so much resistance was in the world about this,
Yeah.
doing connecting to departeds. But now the consciousness has shifted, frequencies are changing. And everyday people are feeling much more connected to departed loved ones. They're hearing their voices, they're getting those signs. And I think because the frequency is shifting in a collective way, that
Yeah,
now, yes, every grieving person on earth is already having the experiences. They just need to trust it. And
exactly.
that's the angels can help us with that too.
Exactly. Right. But I think at this particular time, I almost feel like I have no choice. I mean, I've been given this, they're pushing me, and I resisted, even my kids. Mom, you said you were going to be on hiatus. Mom, the years. And
Right.
finally they're, really? I said, yeah, really. So,
Oh, I'm so
yeah.
glad. Well, do you have any closing words that you'd like to share with us?
I would just tell people to remember who they are, that we each one of us has God within us, which is only love, peace. And if you don't want to call it God, you could call it the universe,
Right.
whatever. But we are all one. And I love to go on YouTube. This is what I do on Saturday, and I watch near-death experiences because it helps me to remember.
Yeah.
We all have that remembrance of before we came here on the planet,
Yeah.
of being one with everyone and everything and feeling God. So do that. And in so doing, you'll be doing your part in creating peace on this planet. It's very much needed right now.
And how can our listeners find you and your books?
They could go to my website at KarenNoe.com. That's KarenNoe.com. And you could go to any major bookstore and hopefully you'll have my books there.
Well, it's a pleasure as always, beautiful Karen. And this is Mystical Conversations with Rev Sue Frederick, and I hope you'll join us again. And my website is SueFrederick.com. Many blessings, everyone.
Bye.